Welcome to extraterrestrial reality. A lot of UFOs are captured on film, video, hovering around active volcanoes. I mean, this has happened a lot of times throughout the years. For instance, here's an article from 2020 from NDTV. I will leave the link in the description. It says, UFO floats behind erupting volcano, triggers alien debate. Mexico's highly active Popocatépetl, I'm going to butcher this one, Popocatépetl volcano erupted on Monday evening, spewing lava and clouds of ash into the sky. According to news website SOTT, government-run webcams captured the explosion on camera. Footage of the explosion, shared on social media, gave conspiracy theorists much to discuss thanks to the presence of an unidentified flying object behind the volcano. Footage of the eruption shows the volcano located in central Mexico exploding in a fireball and sending ash and smoke into the air. Moments after the eruption, a mysterious white light floats from the left to right across the volcano, leading to speculation about everything from aliens to unexplained natural phenomenon. A saucer-shaped object passes near the volcano, wrote one Twitter user in Spanish in the comments section. What is it? What happened near the volcano? Asked another. According to the Mirror, some speculated that it might be an alien spaceship, while others theorized that the light could have been a shooting star or even a meteorite. Many others, however, pointed out that the light could simply have been an airplane or satellite and refused to buy into any conspiracy theories. The volcano's initial eruption began at approximately 11:18 p.m. local time on Monday night. A second eruption took place around 40 minutes later. Authorities have warned the public to avoid the area. So there's just one instance. I mean, if you go to Google and you type in UFOs near volcano and then look under the images, you're going to see a lot of different pictures, right, of different times where UFOs have been caught, hovering around a volcano for who knows what reason. And here's another article. This is from the Daily Star, and this article was from 2021. It says, the headline says, UFO caught investigating volcano as it erupts according to conspiracy theories. Footage shows an alleged UFO flying near the Cumbre Vieja volcano while it was erupting on the Spanish island of La Palma. And then according to the article, it says here, a video shows a weird light alleged to be a UFO flying close to a volcano while it was erupting. In the clip, which went viral on Reddit on Sunday, the Cumbre Vieja volcano on Spain's La Palma is violently exploding and setting lava shooting into the sky. A dot of bright and white-hued light then appears in the right-hand frame and zips across the screen. It then appears to turn around mid-air and back toward the volcano for another flyby. The footage has been watched more than 1,000 times, and the caption claims it was recorded on September 30th. It's proven to be a bit of a head-scratcher, with some people reckoning it might be a bird and others convinced it's got a supernatural explanation. Many viewers suggested it was merely a human-operated drone and had nothing to do with aliens, but others reckoned extraterrestrials could be studying the eruption or using it for fuel. One user said, drones? That or aliens really want that epic volcano shot. A second viewer joked, alien study volcano. Alien smart. Someone else commented, does anyone have any information on these? Well, I mean, that makes you wonder now, why are aliens, if they are extraterrestrial spacecraft hovering around volcanoes, why would they be doing something like that? What would be their interest? I don't know. I mean, is it, do they draw some sort of energy from, white hot magma? I mean, is that what it is? Or are they just interested in volcanoes? They just want to, is it almost something like a sightseeing tour? Hey, check this out, Or is it could there be other reasons, other more sinister purposes behind the alien spacecraft, if that's what it is, being seen near volcanoes? Why are they going there? Well, now recently I had a podcast where I talked about The theory that has been posited it by a former government electrical engineer, and who I've still been in contact with, and this person has offered another theory with regard to the aliens' purposes here. Now, this person has indicated to me that the reason behind cattle mutilations and possibly some disappearances of human beings has to do with these alien beings themselves feeding on them for blood. For instance, a cattle gets mutilated, and and its eyes are gouged out. I mean, its anus is cored out, and there's certain organs missing, and all the blood's gone, and there's no trace of any blood anywhere. And it looks like these things are done with precision laser instruments, not something that a predator would be able to do. So, and this has been going on for a long time, since at least the 1960s. And this person, this contact that I have, has indicated that it could be that aliens are actually here for blood, for human and animal blood, and that's why they're here. They're colonizing the planet, and they feed on blood. Now, I received a lot of some people. Some of the people in the comments section indicated that this is ridiculous, and this is just fear porn, and some others thought it was a reasonable explanation. It explains a lot, because apparently these beings are like insects. I mean, it's been reported by people who have been abducted, have said that they're like insects. Robert Sarbacher, he was a scientist, and he stated back in the early 1980s he had all kinds of he worked on government projects back in the 50s, and he indicated, as a matter of fact, that these things are insects, from what he was told by other officials. So if that's the case, and these are basically advanced insects, some from some planet, or were basically insects evolved into intelligent beings, right? And they're here. One of the theories is that they're here to feed on the blood of animals, including humans. So I recently received an email from this electrical engineer who worked on different government projects, highly classified projects, including some projects for NASA. This person is now retired, and I'm going to read a little bit of this email message that I was sent, and it says, "I've seen a number of reports of UFOs passing above volcanoes, which seem very odd. However, if we think about the human mutilations and the fact that the bodies needed to be disposed of more discreetly than those of cattle, we might speculate that they're being dumped into volcanoes." Now, let's just stop there for a minute. Now, of course, cattle mutilations, one aspect of cattle mutilations, these, under mysterious circumstances, a rancher, for instance, finds a cow. It's completely drained of blood, and there's organs missing, and it looks like everything's done by surgical precision, and it's laying in a pasture. And not only that, but it looks like apparently some of the bones are broke, because it looks like it was dropped. Okay, so these flying saucers show up, drain all the blood, take some of the organs out, and then drop the beasts in the pasture and just take off. Right? No big deal, right? I mean, other than the ranchers complaining and the police officers scratching their heads and the government standing back and saying, "I don't know what's going on," or it look like maybe it's a satanic cult. Okay, but anyway, we'll continue reading this statement from my anonymous source. "I think dumping them in the ocean is a good theory," meaning dumping human. If the purpose of these beings is to feed on blood of animals and humans. I actually made a statement in the previous podcast that perhaps the reason there's no bodies usually found of human mutilated bodies, that's because they're a little bit more cautious about that. They know that's going to cause a stir, so they have to get rid of them. And I suggested that maybe they throw them in the ocean, dump them in the ocean. Now, my source here is stating that, well, maybe they're dumping them into volcanoes. Okay, let me continue with what he says here. "I think dumping them in the ocean is a good theory, But from the aliens' point of view, it might be inconvenient if some guy gets abducted in the middle of Nebraska and then his mutilated body is found floating in the Pacific Ocean 2 hours later by a fishing boat, whereas dumping a body into molten lava at 1400 degrees would guarantee it would never be found. I'd like to see an estimate on the number of cattle mutilations per year. As to the humans, we have 800,000 missing person reports every year, and at least 20,000 of them are really inexplicable. People with good jobs, no debts, a happy family, just starting driving to work and never get there. Then they find the car in an isolated area with no footprints around it, and the person is gone, never to be seen again. And there are UFO reports in the area at around that time. This amounts to literally tens of thousands of gallons of blood each year. Multiply that by at least 50 years that we know of, and that's not just a research program, that's feeding on a grand scale. I can only guess how many of these creatures are already here, and I worry about more arriving, since most investigators seem to feel that the number is increasing even beyond what we would expect to be observing due to our improved camera and radar technology. It's really a simple idea and not at all that hard to grasp. We see it everywhere in nature. Predator finds food source, predator establishes colony, colony grows. Only in this case, the predator is highly intelligent and very deceptive and has centuries of experience in controlling the herd. Of course, we can't say for sure this theory is true, but so far the pieces of the puzzle just keep falling into place more and more every day. The cover-up is unraveling fast. They're desperate to maintain it, so once again they hope a name change. We're talking about the government's recent name change from OMSG to ARROW, the new program to study UAP. They're desperate to maintain it, so once again they hope a name change can throw people off and keep it going a little longer, but these monkey tricks are getting old. So this source has made this statement. Now again, this is who knows if this is true or not, but again, it could be. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, like, a lot of people want to believe that they're here on some great mission and like they're here to help us, but where's the help? We know for a fact they've been interacting with the human race now for like 75 years, okay, at least. I mean, they're probably here, of course, for centuries before that, but it seems like things have picked up over the past 75 years. They seem to show a lot more interest in what we're doing here. If they're here to help, then where is the help, really? So this theory does make sense, okay? And then when you think about why are they showing up at volcanoes, okay, that could make sense, I guess. I mean, it's just a theory. Again, we're not saying that's absolutely true. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's happening, but it is something to think about as far as horrible as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, because guess what? If you were to dump human bodies into a volcano, right, there's going to be nothing. It's going to be gone. You know, I actually there was a person in my life who completely disappeared off the face of the planet. Never showed up. And that's almost 50 years ago, 1973. I had an uncle who just disappeared, no trace. A lot of people thought he fell into a nearby creek, but no body ever washed up anywhere. Nobody ever found. Nobody knows what happened to him. He just disappeared, and there's been no trace of him ever since. He was last seen. He walked out of a bar room. Maybe he was drunk, right, and he fell into a creek. Maybe that had nothing to do with it. Maybe something. I'm not saying that happened to my uncle, but I'm just saying as an example, people disappear without a trace sometimes. It really does happen. I know for a fact, it was one of my earliest memories. I was only like 4 years old, 4.5 years old, something like that when that happened. So I remember it. I remember this moment in time where it was in newspapers and nobody, he never showed up. And, there's been all kinds of theories and conspiracy theories, on a local level and among different people, family members and things like that over time. But no evidence of, final proof of whatever really happened ever surfaced. He just disappeared off the face of the planet. It happens. There's people that just disappear, and it doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason. Of course, a lot of times we know. Turns out that there's crazy people out there that kidnap people, and sometimes really strange things happen. I read a story just recently where somebody who disappeared in the 70s, a student, he disappeared without a trace, and then they just recently found his car. It ran off a highway, and it was sitting there all these years for 45 years or something like that. So weird things like that happen too. But there are a lot of people who just completely vanish, and we never hear anything about them again. I guess it's possible, right? Anything's possible. And again, all we could really do is speculate. It's not crazy to speculate on things like this. It's not insane to wonder, because we just don't have answers. We just don't know anything for sure about what's going on with these things. So meanwhile, all we could do is sit back and wonder. And it's really not insane to believe that it's possible that they are here if they're an advanced race of insects, then that could be it. And the way they get rid of any proof that they're doing these kind of things, not only to cattle but to people, they just get rid of the body in a volcano. It's just a theory. Doesn't mean it's real. But hey, until we know more. I mean, maybe the government knows something, and they can't. If they know something, maybe it's time to come clean, so people like me aren't sitting here throwing out these weird theories. But at the same time, it might be the case. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the reason for the cover up.